Hello, this is Michael Jen. Today I'll be doing a review on the Wurkkos WK04. In my opinion, this is the best EDC flashlight of 2023 for sure, and possibly the next coming years. Before I give my opinion and my review, let's talk about the features and the stuff that it came with. It does come with a USB-C to A cable to charge your device. It comes with a lanyard that I never use, and it also comes with an instruction manual over here. And it comes with this clip that I already put on. This clip is not reversible, it just goes on this way, so, it's got to be the way it is. Probably made because it's supposed to be very EDC friendly. So it is waterproof IP65, as you can see the rubber little covering here. It's USB-C. This device actually does fit a lot of different types of chargers, so that's really nice. Some of the other Wurkkos devices didn't, so that's what I really like about this. One of the things I don't like is that it is a closed unit, so you can't replace the battery, but it also keeps it more waterproof, so that's nice. As you can see, it's sealed completely, so you can't even replace the battery if you want it. Which means that when the battery dies, the flashlight's basically dead, unless you want to keep it plugged in or whatever. Just like all the Wurkkos flashlights, you could just turn this clip any way you like. It does spin around. Here are the markings, Wurkkos WK04, and the little markings there that it always has. I noticed it doesn't say hot surface like it does on the FC11. After using this for a little bit, I do feel that the button is very nice. It has a nice click to it, and it doesn't turn on when it's in your pocket. So that's a really nice thing about it. I really also like the fact that it's a lot lighter and can clip onto anything without even being felt, which is really nice about this flashlight. And it clips right onto just about anything and could just stay there. Really light, actually very nice. It does not have a magnet, which is a little bit disappointing, but I guess where would you put it? I think I would have liked it on this end right here, just to make this magnetic somehow. That would have been really nice. Otherwise, I'm a big fan of it. The UI is not as simple as a lot of the other UIs. In order to just see the battery, you can click it once, and green basically means has a good amount of battery. If it's red, it's lower battery, blinking red, under 30%, so you don't want to use it under 30%, you want to charge it up. If you hold down on it, it will turn on, and if you hold down again, it will just turn off. If you hold down and then click once, it'll go through the stepped brightnesses. And warning for a very bright light. If you double click, it will change it into the floodlight. This is the spotlight, this is the floodlight, that's what they're calling it. And if you double click, it basically switches through modes. If you click it again, it'll be the red light. Double click again. There we go. Red light. And if you double click again, it will go back to the floodlight. So let's look at that again. Double click, and if you hold it down, if you press once, it'll switch through the different modes of that light. So for example, for the red light, it does blink like this, or it can be on, and that's the only two modes that there are. However, for the regular floodlight, you can just press it once, and it'll change brightnesses. Same goes for the spotlight here. Let's double click, bring it back to spotlight, and as you can see, if I press it once, it just changes the brightness. And press it again, and it turns off. Oops, hold down again, and it turns off. Now, if you want to turn on lockout, if you're putting it in your pocket and you do find that it's turning on, although the button is pretty intense to push, you can double click it, and it will blink like that, letting you know the spotlight's on. And if you press it or long press it, basically nothing happens. If you long press it, it just turns on, which is nice, I guess, if it's on lockout mode. And then if you double click, it will turn the lock mode off, and then you'll be back in business. It does have a drop rating or impact resistance of 1 meter, which is like 3.5 feet. So let's talk about the lights and how bright they are. For the spotlight, which is this side right here, the low is 20 lumens, medium is 90 lumens, and the high is 260 lumens. And for the floodlight right here, the low is 15, the medium is 70, and the highest is 230. One of the things I would like to see changed is that the low should be much lower, like 2 or 3 lumens maybe, so that way it could be used in a really dark environment and last a really long time. And then you have the red light, which I guess uses half that amount of time, I don't know. And the runtimes are pretty good. On the low, it could work at 3.8 hours, on the medium 121 minutes, and on the high for 45 minutes. So that's pretty good if you're using it especially as an EDC. And I think that's all the specifications as far as the light goes. So let's talk about why I really like this light. So honestly, in my opinion, the only thing that's missing that would really make this amazing is the magnet. Otherwise, I think it's really good. Maybe even if it had a battery like the 16340 or something like that, that would also make it a little better. However, everything else I really like about it, because the truth is that when you're carrying every day, you want something really small. And the question is, okay, so then the Sophor SC21. It's a really good flashlight, and I do agree. This is an amazing flashlight. I love this flashlight. It's tiny. It has Android 2. It's pretty cheap. The light's always lit, which is really nice. And it has a rechargeable battery that you can take out. And that's great and everything. However, I find myself really wanting a floodlight more than I want a spotlight or a diffuse light rather than a straight light. So I find this super useful in everyday use. I mean, how many times do you want to just light up the area rather than just focus on something? I think it's really good. Plus, if you clip this to your hat, you basically get a headlight. So I think that's really nice. However, it doesn't spread out as much, and it's not as diffused. So I think this has really been a lifesaver in a lot of different instances. For example, if you're reading a book, how you can do it with a flashlight? You're going to aim it at the book. Whereas if you have a diffuse light, you can just leave it like this and turn it on, and it's really nice. It doesn't hurt your eyes. You can turn it to the lower brightness setting. Honestly, I wanted to turn my FC11 into something that I carry every day, but I found myself thinking this is heavy. This is also heavy, not as heavy as the FC11, but the WK04 is definitely the lightest and definitely the easiest to carry, honestly. Something like an 350, 650 is just way too big to carry. Even an 350 was too big for me, and the 16340s that are in the Sophor SC21 are definitely a good size. I really like it. It's about the same size as this, but the floodlight just makes all the difference. And although it's just a little bit smaller, so that's not so much of the difference, it just makes it so much more useful. And although there's a battery inside that cannot be replaced, that is something I'm willing to give up so that I can have something that is easier to carry and definitely has a floodlight. The WK11, I think it's $15.99 right now. Sorry, WK04 is $15.99. This was like $18, $19, and this was $25. This was $35 or $40. So this is definitely the cheapest option. However, I think that's because of the built-in battery, but I do really like this, and I think that this is a really good product for EDC. Maybe if you're going on a longer trip and you know you're going to be using a flashlight more, or you're going outside and you want to just check something out for a minute, definitely want to pick this or this up, maybe even this. But if you are just using it as EDC, this is definitely the best in my opinion. I don't see why someone would want an EDC that is bigger unless they're really using it a lot. I think that for the average person, this is the best EDC for sure. And this is what I'm going to carry on me from now on because I just like it so much, unless I'm going on a trip. If anyone has any comments about that, I would like to hear it. I would like to hear your opinion on what they can make better about this, or why you would not want to carry this and carry something bigger, assuming you're just using it, on your everyday use. And thanks for watching. I hope this gave you some information about these lights. I really do like the other lights. Don't get me wrong, but this is definitely my favorite EDC. Have a great day. Here I am outside with WK04 on me, and we're going to do some outdoor shots. First, we're going to test the spotlight, so let's test it out. Okay, so this is on high, and as you can see, it's doing a pretty good job of lighting up the area. I'm going to put it on low, medium, high, low, and now we're going to change it to the diffuse light, as they call floodlight, and you hit it twice, it switches to the floodlight, and this is on low, medium, high. You can't really tell, but it doesn't light up really the whole area in front of it, just the whole area around me is light now, due to the floodlight, which other lights don't do. Now let's test the red light. Click twice, and now the red light's on, flashing, and if you click it once, it'll just be red, and obviously it doesn't light up the whole area, because it is a diffuse red light. And now we're going to test it against my FC13. So here is the brightest on the WK04, and now the FC13, I'm going to turn it on to the highest, and this is what it is on the highest. As you can see, the FC13 is a lot brighter. However, the WK04 holds its own in this. We'll do the WK04 again. Right now it's the FC13, WK04. FC13, we're going to turn on to turbo, and it definitely did a really good job on the outdoor test.